everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast. Today, we're going to be talking a little personal finance again and a little off-hour hustling with a friend of the program, Choe. I was trying to look at what episode that was. I think it's in the 20s. It's like episode like 29 or something. But if you don't remember, Choe is a software engineer by day, but she publishes a personal finance blog called Off Hour Hustle. And she came on with us back in the spring of 2022. So I figured it's time for a little update. So welcome back to the show, Choe.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Where are you at right now? You're in Orange County still?
I'm in Orange County, yeah, still. Same place, haven't changed.
All right. Hey, I just went down, when was it? Columbus Day. So like October 15th or so. I went down to Orange County and I think I've been to Irvine before, but I've never really explored Little Saigon. So I went with some folks that were for the Viet Film Festival.
Oh,
And
awesome.
so we poked around like, what was it? Fountain Valley and where's Little Saigon? It's in
Westminster or Garden Grove?
Yeah, Westminster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd ever been down there. And there's like like every few miles, there's like a little strip mall kind of. They're big though. They're like these big Vietnamese supermarkets and lots of shops.
Lots of good food.
Lots of good
I think they have a
food.
night market every year that it's amazing. They have the best food over there by far.
Man, yeah. So it opened my eyes a little bit. I realized I got to get down there and do a proper. I was only there for one day, not even 24 hours. I was like,
Oh, wow.
22 hours. I was down there, but I was like, wow. We went to this place called Vox. Have you ever been to Vox?
Box Kitchen? Yeah, I
Yeah.
have actually.
Good,
Asian
right?
fusion, right? Very
Yeah,
good.
fusion, maybe a little Peruvian influence. Yeah, super good. And it was popping. It was full. And all those restaurants there look good. People were mentioning I should go to Brodard's for spring rolls.
Oh, Brodarts is amazing too. But that's why I love
Yeah.
Orange County. There's such good food everywhere, especially Asian food.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
can't compare
So,
to Seattle.
yeah, that's true. Even SF. I mean, SF has a lot of history with Asian food, but not the newer places. Like we have a lot of older places, or we have a few kind of upscale places, and then a couple hole in the walls. But I was really impressed. So I got to get down to Orange County again. So next time I'm down, we gotta do a little food crawl. We'll do a spring roll
Yeah,
food
definitely hit
crawl.
me up.
All right. So, hey, the timing is kind of interesting on this. So, I'm not sure what your answer will be, but we like to greet our guests in the Asian way. So, Choe, have you eaten yet?
I actually haven't because I'm getting dinner right after this. So I'm
Yeah,
going to Cabo with a couple of my friends.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
that because it's like I haven't eaten either. So, it's like 5 something. So, yeah, usually I like to have guests on a full stomach, but we'll see. We'll power through, I guess. We'll try to find a way.
When are you getting dinner?
After this, yeah, right after this, I'm just
Right
going
after,
upstairs.
all right.
Don't worry, I'm just going to the kitchen later. But we'll, I think my kids and my wife are eating right now. But we'll power through. We'll make it.
Sounds good.
And as usual with these money episodes, we do want to throw out the disclaimer that we are not professionally trained financial advisors. This is for entertainment purposes only. But if you have something that sounds interesting to you, do some research, figure out a little more about it, or talk to a financial advisor. That being said, I hope you have fun listening to our show today, and we're going to talk about a lot of different topics, I think. We did a little more background on Choe last time. So Choe is the daughter of Korean immigrants, grew up in the Pacific Northwest, went to UW,
Yeah,
and
go dogs.
go Dogs, Huskies, and you studied computer science, or what'd you study up there?
I actually studied materials science and engineering, and then I pivoted to computer science like for my occupation.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
easier to find. Well, it was easier to find a job. We'll talk about that a little later. And then you moved to SoCal for work, and from a young age, you kind of started getting interested in finances a little bit, right? Like
I
scholarships and
did. Yes.
working part-time for your dad.
hmm
So then, what year did you start the blog? It's been 2 years, or?
It's been 2 years now. Yes.
Okay, so Off Hour Hustle, go check it out. Lots of good little tips. Some are a little bigger than others. Some are little, like, how to get Starbucks and stuff. There's little things, big things here and there. And then I've seen your Instagram. You like to do little outdoor stuff, a little climbing, a little hiking, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Did I get all the main bullet points? Is there anything else we need to
Yeah,
know about you?
basically financially oriented, and I love being outdoors. I guess that's the gist of it.
That's about it. And we just a second ago we were talking about maybe doing more episodes together. So what else are you into? Are you into K dramas? You into food, obviously.
I love my food. That's true. I'm not that much into K dramas as much, but I love traveling. I'm actually going to Japan in a month for two
Okay.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I saw. Okay, I'm not a stalker, so don't get too scared. Okay, but
We follow each other on
I just
Instagram.
happened to look, and I saw that you're going to Japan, and another friend of mine, a mutual friend, I guess,
Mhm.
Xingyi from Don't Be Strangers,
Oh,
is
yeah. She said she's
yeah.
also going to Japan as well at
Yeah,
the
so
same
I saw
time.
that and I was like, "Hey, you guys know each other?" So yeah, we did an episode together. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, she's super cool. She's super
Hey,
fun.
maybe
So
we could all go on an episode together. That would be
oh
fun.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fun. That would be fun. It's hard catching up with her though. She's either in Texas
She's very busy.
or somewhere around the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, she's cool. So everyone check that episode out as well. Okay, so we'll figure out something. We can talk about traveling. We can talk about food. We'll figure something out. So you may hear Chloe come on the podcast again in a co-host role. That would be cool. Let's see. So it's been 18 months. What's new with you? So, oh, you know what I did see? Speaking of stalking, I did see that you got your real estate license.
I did. I got that. I think I've passed my test late last year, like after Christmas, and then I actually started like being licensed with the brokerage starting in February of this year.
Okay. So do you just take classes? How do you end up passing the test? You study a little, take some classes, or?
Yeah, so you could take classes in person or you could take it online. I chose to take it online because I have a full-time job. I didn't want to like go out of my way to go somewhere.
Uh
But
huh.
it was pretty self-paced. You had 6 months to do it. And for California, it was 135 hours of coursework. Varies depending on what state you live in. So if you're interested, look up the requirements for your own state. But after that, you take like mini exams after each course. So it's three courses, 45 hours each, which is end up being 135 hours.
Uh
And then after that, you take your exam. And then you do like fingerprinting, like background checks, all that stuff, and pay a bunch of fees
huh. I saw.
because,
Yeah. There's a breakdown on
yeah.
that if you're interested,
Uh-huh.
everyone.
Yeah, and then after that, you can start working for a brokerage. So I started working for EXP Realty, and I am a part-time agent.
Nice. Was that something you were always interested in, even in college or after college?
I think in college, I was always interested in the idea of like real estate investing. Like I always
Hmm.
knew that people that had a lot of money had a lot of properties. That's kind of all I knew about it. But I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that in the future if I ever have money. And I learned that like later on throughout life, as I started my full-time job, I learned people in who are real estate agents, like they get commission. And if you buy property as a real estate agent, then you can save on that commission because you're basically earning the money yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So because I want to be an investor, I was like, oh, might as well get my realtor license and see what it's like and learn the ropes of it.
So that was your main motivation is that someday you want to start buying and then you can save some fees and you know a little bit more about it.
Yeah. But as I got my license, like since I told my friends about it, I actually got to help my friend buy her first property in California. And now I'm helping my parents buy their property. So during the weekends, on the evenings, I just like show them around like whatever houses they find and whatever houses I
Yeah.
find for them. It's been a lot of fun,
It
actually.
does seem fun. Yeah. I mean, I'm not I'm not really interested in the sales aspect of it, but it does sound cool to help people, like you can
Hmm.
literally, you could put in extra hour, you could just put the time in to help someone and be a little less like salesy for your
Yeah, for
friends and
sure.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me personally, like I'm not trying very hard to like get clients. Like it's
Yeah.
like if my friends or family come to me and I can help them, then that's great. But I'm not like pushing in their face, be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm an agent, use me as your agent.
You
Yeah.
think would it be hard for you if like let's say you wanted to go full time? Is it pretty hard? Is it super saturated and hard to make a
It
living
is
nowadays?
very saturated. Yeah. I think ever since COVID might have been a good time to go in just because the interest rates were so low and
Uh-huh.
everyone was picking up properties left and right. Everyone was looking for an agent. But these
Yeah.
days, since the market's a lot slower, it's just a lot harder and a lot more experienced agents with their clientele built up. They have
Right.
more people to work with. But then newer
Yeah.
agents, it's been a lot harder.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, it's definitely we'll talk about that the market in a second. So it's definitely turned a little bit in terms of, inventory, as well as, just people interested in buying, or, the transactions is probably way down. Do you know the numbers, like year over year from 2022 to 2023? It's a lot less people looking and buying
Yeah.
and selling. Yeah.
Interest rates going, I don't know any specific numbers, but I just know the interest rates going up and up. It has priced out a lot of people out of the market. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Orange County, it used to be like multiple offers per property, and like the sellers can choose. Still it is multiple offers per property if the property is like worth it for the people that
Mm,
are offering on it. But these days, like it takes more time for houses to
yeah.
get off the market. So like
Yeah.
weeks and weeks, sometimes months.
Yeah, and I had a few friends that are real estate agents, and they were kind of like, "Well, you just have to when it's good, you have to put money away because you don't know when it's going to be bad." Like in the
Yeah.
last 20 years, we've seen some huge ups and downs, and so there's sometimes when the houses just fly. You're selling two a month or something like that, but you just got to sock away the money then, because you never know. You just
Yeah,
never
that's
know.
why I don't think I could ever do it full time because
Yeah.
first, I'm not a huge salesy person, and second, like, ooh, the inconsistency.
Yeah, no, I kind of like the steady paychecks. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so this kind of led to your next thing. I don't know if you consider this a hustle, but you ended up buying yourself a house. Well, you and your
I
partner.
did. Yeah, so I bought it with my boyfriend. So we haven't closed yet. We're still in escrow, and it's a longer process because it's a new construction, actually.
Okay, okay.
So I think we opened escrow around July and we'll be closing, they said end of May next year, but it's possible to get delayed. So I'm expecting around June. So it's almost a
Oh,
year-long process, actually.
oh,
But since there's a new construction though, and the location is like really nice, the wait
uh,
list was over 2 years long.
oh wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
so our name was in the queue for end of 2021. And we got one of the last units. And anyone who signed up like mid 2022 or later, like they didn't end up getting anything. It was
Oh
kind of
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just bought a piece of land. You just bought a patch of dirt.
Basically, I mean, it was a patch of dirt like 2 months ago, but I mean, we have a builder. So our builder is
Okay.
Brookfield, and they're kind of just partnering with us, and we get to choose the upgrades, choose the flooring, choose the paint, and like electricity, whatever
Yeah.
extras we want, and they give us a base price, and the upgrades all have a certain cost to it, and
Okay.
yeah.
Is it infinitely customizable, or the floor plan is kind of one of 10 choices, or how
Uh,
customizable is it?
it's not infinite, but the floor plans there was at least like 200. I
Oh
would say
wow.
it's a lot.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
okay.
pretty overwhelming. I'm not a big like designer person, but thankfully my
Yeah,
boyfriend, he's very like aesthetically oriented, so it's been
nice.
nice to have him around.
And it's gonna be a brand new house. No one's ever lived in there. No one's
Yeah,
used the
I'm so
toilet before.
excited.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, because I've always
Yeah.
lived in old house. Like we bought a little condo in San Francisco that was, what was it, like 1929. Like it is
Oh wow.
gorgeous. It had the hardwood floors, it had the molding and the glass. I don't know if you know, like San Francisco has these old glass doorknobs. People in San Francisco know what I'm talking about. It's really cool, but then it has a ton of problems. Like the
Yeah,
electrical system is 80 years
exactly.
old, and everything is. You can't. It didn't have a washer dryer, of course. The garage was detached. All these things.
Detached garage.
Back in the day, you had your horses out there, like 1929. I don't know, but yeah. So it was cute, and it was great in terms of style. But yeah, owning a new home seems kind of nice in a way too.
Yeah, but I heard that like older construction is also more reliable because these days people are just trying to turn a profit.
True,
So they're like
true.
building them really fast and you don't know how reliable their construction is. You have to make sure you inspect every like nook and cranny for things that they
Yeah,
missed. Yeah.
yeah, because they're going for speed. They're going for
Yeah, exactly.
lowest cost. Yeah, no, this is good. This shocks people when I say this. If you know anything about houses, the house that I'm in now has redwood framing. Have you ever heard of that?
I
So
think I've heard that it's expensive.
super expensive. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like redwood is naturally kind of termites don't like it, and it doesn't
Mm,
rot very easily. So
yeah,
it's super solid. So they always say this term called good bones.
I see.
So my house has good bones, but it also has drainage problems. It has,
Yeah.
my house isn't as old now. It's built in the 1950s, but still 70, 71
Wow.
years old, and so it's got some problems here and there. And there's some decisions that they made. Like they had chandelier when I moved in here, and
Hmm. Hey, but you can
like
remodel it, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did some work on it, but yeah, it's always like, ah, man, should we have bought a new house instead? But I don't know. There's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah. One of my friends, he bought a place in the East Coast, I think in Kentucky or something, and built in 1850s. I was
Oh,
like, I didn't know there were houses that existed that could still be standing right now from the
yeah,
1850s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, America's so young. On the West Coast, there was no one out here in 18. The
Exactly.
49ers, right? But yeah, if you go to Europe, they have 200-year-old houses, 300-year-old houses and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about the history. Like,
Yeah.
that saying, if the walls could talk, it'd be like, what would they, what stories could they tell? That would be
It's
cool.
pretty cool.
But your walls will have no stories to tell you. You get to start all the stories. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool
Yeah.
too. What are your thoughts on real estate right now? What do you tell people? Let's say, so you're in your 20s, right? What would you tell someone who's in their 20s? They have a pretty good job, maybe some pretty good savings. Would you tell them to look at real estate, or maybe sit out for a little while?
I think right now I mean, people always say like buy when you can and like don't
Yeah,
wait out the market. It's kind of like investing like in
it's
the stock
never a
market as well,
perfect
right?
time. Yeah,
Yeah, like there's never a perfect time, just like kind of go in when you can and when you can afford it. And
yeah,
I think the big thing with real estate, like if you get a mortgage, is like you can refinance later, right?
right.
And sure, we don't know when the interest rates are going to come down, but I'm sure it might go up, but it might also go down. And if
Yeah,
if it goes up, then sure, you got it in at a lower rate. If it goes down, then you can refinance. So I feel
yeah,
like what I tell people, especially friends who are asking me, like if they should buy now or they should wait, I'm just like, if you can afford it, then go in and you can refinance later because you're not going to be paying. Hopefully, you're not going to be paying that rate for 30 years. And if you are,
right.
then we have bigger issues to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems, except for gas prices, it seems like inflation is kind of getting under control a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I think
that
rates have
might,
been coming down for the past 8 weeks or like stable or
yeah,
like down. So, and
yeah,
then I think the Fed announced recently that they were thinking about rate cuts in 2024. I guess you never know,
you
but
never know.
yeah,
That would
they
be
always say they're
great,
thinking about something.
right?
Yeah.
But they don't want to surprise people. At the same time, they don't want to totally, so they give hints. They
Yeah.
kind of they use certain words to kind of give people hints because they don't want to shock people. But yeah, so what are we at, like 7 something% right now?
Hmm.
That seems so high, but in historically, it's
It's
still
really
not
not.
crazy high. Yeah,
Yeah. We
it
got
could,
spoiled by COVID, I think.
or even before that. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
getting 2.5,
Yeah.
3. That's crazy low if you think about it.
Yeah.
But
Did you ever buy during that time?
I did refinance in that time. Yeah, so
Nice,
I
exactly.
bought. Well, I didn't save that much, but I did want to cash out a little bit. So
Hmm.
I didn't get I didn't get rock bottom, but I did okay.
Wow.
So when I
I can
first
only
bought,
imagine.
well, yeah. So yeah, in 2003, actually, so this isn't that low. In 2003, I think we bought our condo for at the rate of like 5.5 or more, a little bit more, between 5 and 6%. So that isn't super low,
Yeah.
But at the time, we thought we were getting a deal, because they were talking about this historically low
Hmm.
time. But then, and then in 2000, when did I refinance? 2015 or 16, it was 3%, So it's like, wow.
Wow.
So just be ready. I know,
Yeah.
just have some patience. And like you said, you could buy it now at 7%, and then if it goes down to 5.5 again, then yeah, refinance, and
Yep, exactly.
you'll be
That's what we're
golden.
planning to do because I mean, our timeline is May. So
Uh
whatever
huh.
the rate is at May, you kind of have to go with that because we're already in escrow. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can't lock it in that long, huh? You can lock it in maybe a
yeah.
month. Yeah. Okay. All
Ma-
right. So, people selling, is it? I guess the same, right? There's never a great time to sell. There's never a great time to buy. But if you had to
Right.
sell a house, not
Yeah.
terrible, but you could have done better probably before. But
Yeah. I think the problem with selling right now, especially if it's your personal residence, is like you have to buy another one, right?
right.
Or I guess you could rent if you want to, but I haven't heard that happen too often. But if you have to buy another one, you have to get another mortgage, most likely, then
you're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. So, but
Yeah.
it is definitely like Orange County, at least, since that's where I am, it is definitely more leaning towards a seller's market. It has been less of a seller's market since a couple months ago, but
Okay.
yeah, it's still more advantageous for sellers, I guess.
Okay. All right. So hang out, people. If you're a first time buyer, look at rates, but don't time it. It's kind of like upgrading a new iPhone, right? There's never
Right.
the perfect time to get a new iPhone. Just get
Yeah.
whatever's current, and then if it gets better, then yeah, maybe deal with it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard not to get FOMO though when like all of your friends are buying houses,
True.
right? Yeah.
Is that I was wondering, so people in your generation or even let's say younger, even more recent college grad, is that still the dream for most people to have a house? Is that
I think most everyone I know it is. Yeah, everyone's been talking about it. Half my friends have a house, half my friends are talking about it all the time. They're like, when are interest rates gonna come back down? Yeah, so it does seem like it. I know some people like might not like the maintenance of it. My parents are like that. So they're
yeah.
just like, ooh, maybe we'll just rent for the rest of our life. But my
Yeah.
generation, it doesn't seem like it as much.
Renting just seems like a bad deal. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
it's
right.
not really if you think about it.
Yeah.
But like for
Especially with like
example,
property taxes in California.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But then you get the deduction if it's below a
that's
million, right? Or something like
yeah.
that. But
Hmm.
but yeah, I guess the argument is let's say you put down 200,000 as a down payment. Like if you had just invested that 200,000 and rented, would you come out, at the end of it, would you come out ahead? Who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah,
But my thing is, I don't want to be 70 and then have to move and get like this huge rent increase or something like that.
that's true. And you
Like
never
in
know when they'll increase rent on you. That's the big problem too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
have rent control here in San Francisco, but if you ever get evicted or move, then
Yeah.
you could triple your rent. This has happened to a friend of mine. She retired. She was like 62 or something like that, and she had this apartment that she had lived in for 20 years or something. So she was paying like $700 a month for her apartment.
Oh
And
wow.
then the owner kind of Ellis acted her, and so she was out of that unit. And everything else, the same size of that was, $3,000, $4,000
Oh
for
my
the same
gosh.
size of, and she's 63. She's not gonna, she doesn't want to. She's already retired, so she's on fixed income.
Yeah,
So that's the nightmare, right? Is if you
that is.
you,
Yeah,
you
that
just
would
say to
suck.
yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna rent for the rest of my life," but you don't know what rents are gonna be. So I don't know. All right, so that's our little. Anything else you want to talk about real estate? Any trends or anything you see going on?
There's a big like news with realtors right now, so everyone's like talking about it. There's a lawsuit going on. It's called Sitzer Burnett versus the National Association of Realtors. But basically, what went on is that people in Missouri, sellers in Missouri, they argued that the listing agents, so the people who are selling the houses for their clients, the listing agents were conspiring together to keep commissions high.
Oh,
Yeah, and they didn't like disclose to the seller that like you could commissions are always negotiable and you don't have to pay the buyer's commission. So,
uh,
um, and they won. So now it's like all news around like realtors and other
uh,
real estate agents from in the US that we have to disclose to the sellers that commissions are always negotiable and also you don't have to pay the buyer's commission. It's pretty tradition to pay the buyer's commission from the
uh,
seller side, but it's not necessary and a lot of people don't know that because the realtors don't disclose it. So I
oh,
can see in the coming years like buyers might have to pay their own commission to their realtors, which should be a lot, right? Because I mean 3% on $1 million home
yeah,
is a lot of money. So
yeah.
yeah, so that's a big
Interesting.
thing that's going on right now, and it's possible that the real estate market might change because of it, and buyers might have to pay their own agents. So a lot
Oh
of people
wow.
might go unrepresented just so they could save on the money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that just because there's a lot of stuff you need
There's
to
a lot of
know.
stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I had some friends, and my mother-in-law, she was kind of like, I'd just rather do it myself. I'm like, I don't know, man. there's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you
A
gotta
lot
not.
of paperwork that can go wrong.
So many. Yeah, actually, my real estate agent was a lawyer, and then he went into real estate. And he said, when we're signing those 80 pages of documents, right? He said, well,
Mhm.
everything you're signing or every disclosure we have right here is because someone got sued and lost. And so now we
Hmm.
have to put it in writing. So every page of that you're signing there is because someone got sued, and now everyone has to cover themselves with these pages. And so I guess we have a new page where you have to disclose that
Yeah.
okay, so one more page. So 81 pages now.
Yeah, one of my friends' mom is a real estate agent is getting sued right now too. And I was like, oh my God, I guess it can happen to people I know too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's kind of nuts when you're signing that. You 99% of us don't even read that, right? But we're just
Yep.
signing, they're just the notary is like sign here, sign here, sign here, sign there,
Hmm.
and you're just like, what am I signing? I don't, but you probably should read it, people out there. You probably should read those or have a lot of trust in your real estate agent.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Last time we talked a lot, not a lot, but we talked about your credit cards. And I saw you post something. I think you were shifting away from getting new cards a little bit. Was that did I hear that correctly, or are you
Yeah.
still? Would you look for one if it's a good deal came up? Would you still sign up for a new one, or?
Ever since I opened escrow with the property that we're buying in
Ah,
May, yeah, I want to make sure I don't get any hard hits on my credit score anymore.
that's
So
true.
I've
Yeah.
stopped opening since then, and even a couple months before then, because I was still like on the lookout for other houses.
Uh huh.
But yeah, because of that, and I want to keep it as high as possible. That's why I'm not opening credit cards anymore.
Did you close some, or you just kind of keep them?
I just kind of keep them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because if you close them, it impacts your credit score too.
That's true. Yes. You just kind
Yeah.
of hold steady. All right, but I did see that you were getting a little bit of. Now, this isn't as extreme. You're not doing 20 of these, right? But I did see that you were interested a little bit in some checking accounts and the
Yep.
bonuses that they pay. What kinds of thing can we look for with checking accounts?
I mean, if you get a direct deposit, so from your employer, if you get direct deposit, it's really easy. Most companies probably have some sort of system where you can change your direct deposit to somewhere else. So a lot of banks, they're like, oh, if you direct deposit $1,000 or direct deposit $2,000, we'll give you like a $100 bonus or like a $200 bonus. And that's been my equivalent of getting credit cards because opening and closing checking accounts doesn't impact your credit score at all. So
True.
I've been opening a ton, closing some of them, keeping some of them, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I probably like went through maybe 6 or 7 bonuses this year so far.
Okay. And most of
Yeah.
them are like just do one deposit, $1,000, and keep it for a month, and then you can cancel or close
Yep.
it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. What's the best deal out there? 300? What's the highest you've seen?
So right now I have the BMO checking. I just opened like a week or two ago, and if you direct deposit, I don't remember exactly how much, but it's within 120 days, so it's pretty doable for most people.
Uh-huh.
Um, you get $600 bonus, so
600.
that's yeah. So I'm doing that one. I personally like this one. I keep, but SoFi checking and savings, I opened it a couple years ago, but because it's a high interest savings account, or the savings part is a high interest savings account that it doesn't have like a physical brick and mortar place, their interest rate's really
Uh-huh.
high. So right
Yeah.
now they're giving 4.6% for your
Wow.
savings. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, it's a lot of money if you think about it like over the long run, and
Yeah.
especially since interest rates are getting are high right now. So
Yeah.
4.6% on money that's sitting around, right?
That is the bonus of inflation, right? Is that the
Yeah.
savings accounts are because I remember, when the interest rates were super low, savings accounts were point zeros. They're paying
Yeah.
basically nothing. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good. So that's 4% on a checking account?
4.6 on the savings, and
Oh,
then
the savings. Okay.
they give you 0.5 on the checking. Yeah.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, so a couple hundred there, a couple hundred there could pay for a trip to Japan, yeah?
Exactly.
I mean, you fly on Zip Air, that's a $500 flight, right?
Yeah, that's why I try and tell people, but they're like, "Oh, it's too much work." And I get it. It is kind of like work, but for me, it's a hobby, which is why I like doing it.
Yeah. So is it? Yeah, because I mean, obviously you make salary, right? So you're not really
Yeah.
pinching pennies or anything, but you just like doing it. It's just kind of fun for you.
Yeah, because I just think about it like if I make an extra 1,000 or 2,000 a year with checking account, it's like just like you said, it pays for a vacation, right? Or like a
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes
So,
you 20 minutes to sign up for something or less even.
and then
Yeah.
like less than 5 minutes to reroute my deposit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, go check out Chloe's blog. She has a couple reels or shorts on checking accounts. Interesting stuff. But I mean, I'm sure you see it. You see it every so often in your inbox. You'll see a notice about, hey, if you switch to us, we'll give you this. And so yeah, it can't hurt. It's free money, people. Just a little bit of effort, and doesn't impact your credit score. So that's good too.
Yeah.
All right. You know, speaking of little deals, I did see your reels about a couple fun ones. Can we talk about a few of them now?
Yeah, for sure. I
All
love free
right.
food.
So free food, free drinks. So let's talk about So this is okay. So we talked about some big purchases like homes and vacations and stuff. But these are little ones, and so you're not gonna save a ton of money, but they're just satisfying. Yeah, Chloe. This is kind of just
Yep.
things that make you happy. All right. So the first one I saw was Chick-fil-A. And if you live in a big city, now, so this is the caveat. You have to kind of live in a big city, right? Or does it
hmm
matter where you live?
It depends who Chick-fil-A is partnered with, but from what I've
Uh,
seen, it's been a lot of big cities. Yeah.
okay. So
The
this
big
is,
city sports teams.
yeah. So go ahead and run us through this deal. So if the team wins, or how does it work?
Yeah, so I live in Orange County. So we have the Angels, a baseball team, and then we also have the Ducks, a hockey team. But if for us, when it's baseball season, if the Angels win 7 or more runs at home, then there's a free Chick-fil-A on your app, like a free sandwich. And then if the Ducks, when it's hockey season, if they win 5 or more goals at home, then there's also a free sandwich.
Yeah.
So I've probably gotten during baseball season, which just passed. I think I got maybe like, I don't know, 10 plus sandwiches. Yeah, they're always on the app. They expire in 3 days. So I just go redeem it. Sometimes, like, I got so sick of Chick-fil-A at some point, I just started tossing the bun and just
Oh,
using the
just
chicken to like make a salad. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
super genius because doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Are the lines long on those freebies or
Not really. I mean, it's the same as
normal
any
line?
other Chick-fil-A line. Yeah, you just go, you can order on the app too for pickup. So
Ah.
you just order it, pick it up, come back out.
Yeah, we have that here
Yeah.
too. We used to have one for Taco Bell, and I
Mhm.
forget what the slogan was, but it was like if anyone stole a base. So in baseball, if you're on base and you run to second base without getting caught, it's a stolen base. So during the World Series, if anyone stole a base, everyone gets a free taco or chalupa or something like
Oh,
that.
nice. Oh, I love
So
chalupas.
yeah, so we did that, but honestly, the line was kind of long, and I mean, you don't feel dumb, but you feel a little silly, like I'm waiting an hour for a $3 taco or
Oh,
something.
wow, it's an hour?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that long,
Oh,
but it was just a little bit. It was to get there, and then you're
yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
Total time. Door to
Oh, for
door.
sure. Yeah, I mean,
But
I live 5 minutes from one, so
yeah,
yeah, I live 5 minutes from one, and also we like kind of make it an event with like friends and stuff,
yeah,
so we
there
all
you
just
go.
go get our sandwich.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it makes the game more fun too. When you're watching the game and
Mhm.
they're at 6 runs or whatever, you're like,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you get one more run. So it's just about fun. Yeah, yeah. Everybody, Chloe can afford to buy her own Chick-fil-A, but it's just more fun this way. All
It's
right,
all fun for me.
it's all fun. Yeah. All right. So the next one is kind of cool. So after all your Chick-fil-A's, after your 20 free Chick-fil-A sandwiches, I think you need to work out a little bit. So you have a tip for getting fitness classes. What's your tip for fitness classes?
Yeah, so the first one that I've used a couple times is ClassPass. I think
Uh-huh.
people might have heard of it, but ClassPass, like they have a free trial for sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's a month, and then they always re-invite you back every 6 months or something like that. So you can get a free trial every 6 months or so. And if you sign up for their free trial and then just cancel it afterwards, and you don't have to pay anything, but they give you a couple credits where you can use for like Pilates classes, for like Legree classes, for
Mm-hmm.
HIIT classes, or whatever studio classes that you want. So
Yeah.
I use that to try a lot of cool things. I think
Yeah.
the coolest thing I've tried was stand-up paddleboard yoga.
Oh, wow.
So basically, you paddleboard out and then you like lock yourself onto a dock somewhere, and then you do paddle or you do yoga on top of your paddleboard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the hardest thing they made us do was a headstand, and
Oh
then
my
of
gosh.
course, I don't know how to do headstands, but I tried anyway, and then I fell in the water. But
Yeah, but you get to cool off
yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure, it was a lot of fun, and that plus every studio usually has free trials.
Uh-huh.
So all the studios in Orange County have been like going around scoping free trials.
Do a week,
'Cause,
yeah. The big
yeah.
gyms too, like Crunch will have it, of course.
Yeah.
They all have a
Core
week
Power Yoga
trial.
has like 1 week trial. Yes. And
Yeah.
like no strings attached. So you kind of just go do your free trial. So that's how I've been like hopping around. I have my own gym membership at a climbing gym too, but sometimes I get bored of climbing and bored
Yeah.
of just going to the normal gym. So I try these studio workouts and just do a free trial.
Yeah, and you probably would never have signed up for paddleboard yoga.
Nope, I would not.
But this is a way for them to kind of expose you to it, and you get to try something new. And you just go by
Yeah.
yourself. You're not afraid to go by yourself, or
No. I
yeah,
try to get other people to go with me, but I mean, sometimes most of the time I'll just go by myself.
yeah, no, cool. And yeah, these classes, if you just did an individual class, it'd be $30-$40 sometimes, right,
Yeah,
for some of these
it's
classes.
expensive.
Yeah. No. All right, good tip for that one. So after your Chick-fil-A, you got to work out, and after you work out, you got to cool down with maybe some strawberry lemonade that you picked up at Panera. Now I noticed I looked it up just last night. In my area, it's $5 for a free trial, but I think that's still a pretty good deal. It's unlimited drinks. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you can get one every single day.
It's what is it called? The Sip Club or the?
I think it's called the Panera Sip Club, but it's you can. I think the biggest thing that I enjoyed was their spiked lemonade. So it's like caffeinated lemonade,
Ooh.
and it has a lot more caffeine than coffee. It's pretty dangerous because it has a lot of sugar in it
Oh,
too. But if you're
wow.
into that stuff, then
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, it's pretty good deal. You have
So
to
you
go
just
every
roll
day
in.
and
It's
go.
just like it's normally a certain amount of money per month, and you just get unlimited drinks. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so their goal is to make you to buy like pastries and stuff over there
Right.
probably. But if
Right.
you're have self-control, then you could just go there, get your coffee every day and leave.
Yeah, no, I love Panera too. Actually, I do like the food. I would probably get the food too, but but that does seem like a good deal. So yeah, I think I saw it's $5 for the trial, and I think it's 2 weeks. So you can get unlimited drinks for $5. Still a good deal. Still a really good deal. So everyone out there, you can find some of these deals on Chloe's Instagram, off our hustle, all one word. And yeah, she's always looking out for you guys, trying to find some cool deals. So subscribe and follow her so that you can see some of these quick deals. All right, and so last but not least, it is high school college application. So this is where high schoolers apply for colleges. And I remember you saying that you basically didn't pay for college because you had enough merit-based scholarships. Do you have any tips for my students? Like what's a way that they can get some cash? They're not necessarily low income, but
Mhm.
they aren't rich either, so they need to kind of find some way to pay for college. Do you have any? I mean, you graduated college a little while ago, but I'm sure you'd have some tips for them still.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think finding scholarships that are more niche a really good way to do it. So I found a lot of the ones that were like local to my city or local to
Uh,
my county, and then like maybe some companies that aren't as well known. So because everyone goes to College Board, everyone goes to
right.
scholarships.com, and those are super hyper competitive scholarships.
Yeah.
And those are actually like worth applying to too if you have the GPA, have the extracurriculars, all that stuff. But if you happen to like not have as much of those things, then I went on Google. I was like Googling all day for maybe like a couple months. Like I would be like Korean scholarships because I'm Korean, or like
Uh-huh.
Federal Way scholarships because I'm from that city, or there's a lot of scholarships that go unclaimed every year because nobody applies to
Uh-huh.
them. So you just have to find the really small ones. And sure, they might be like $500, they might be like $1,000, but you add that all up and it ends up
Yeah.
paying for your college, right?
Any tips on what were some of the things that you think helped you in your application? Like what did you say?
I think probably just talking about hardships. So like your achievements and like your GPA and stuff, they're like most of the time they're usually there on your application
Right.
already because they ask for it.
Yeah.
So don't talk about your achievements again on your essay because they'll usually ask for an essay. But
Right.
talk about what you overcame to like get to those achievements. And I
Okay.
think that's what kind of pulls at the review committee's like heartstrings kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, I ended up giving away a little money for someone, and they wanted to give it to a deserving student. So I got to read some statements, and that's totally true. Like if someone stands out through And it doesn't have to be like, oh, we were unhoused or, I was in a gang. None of that. It doesn't have to be that
Yeah.
dramatic, like
Yeah.
your mom or dad doesn't have to pass away. But just things that you overcame. Like this one girl had extreme anxiety and she wrote about
Hmm.
how just going to school was kind of a struggle for her.
Hmm.
Or, there's a little bit of a story that everyone can tell, and it's not necessarily about who sounds the saddest. But it's just kind of like, what did you do with it? What did you do with
Yeah,
your
definitely.
opportunities and stuff?
Yeah,
And
definitely doesn't have to be a sob story, but everyone came overcame something, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of an art to it, so you got to kind of work on it. Nowadays, it's interesting with nowadays with ChatGPT. I wonder if they're gonna kind of downplay the personal statement a little bit. I don't know,
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's a
right?
very good
Because
point.
you
Yeah,
can almost, I mean, yeah, it's actually scary
it is.
how good AI is at writing
It
these
can write
things.
you full blog articles about like anything you want. I've tried it with like finance articles and it's really scarily accurate. I'm like, I could just
Yeah.
post this on my blog right now.
I mean, it sounds a little robotic, but you could add a little bit to it to make it sound a little
Hmm.
personal. But yeah, it's scary fast, scary good. So we'll see. I don't know. I think it's changing landscapes. So they may downplay the personal statement a little bit just because of that. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. How about choosing a major? So you kind of went into math science and were thinking about some kind of an engineering tech job.
Hmm.
Do you think that's still and I'm a science teacher too, so I still think STEM is the place to be, but it seems to be changing a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, yeah, because of the mass layoffs, people are getting scared, and it's definitely harder for new grads to get jobs, it seems
Seems
like.
like it, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a little bit of experience, and of course, like if you don't have experience, then just go for the internships or go for like lower paying jobs because experience is like kind of key to like getting your foot
Yeah,
in the door for most interviews.
yeah,
Yeah, but I've definitely seen a lot of my friends get laid off, and like I'm scared of getting laid off myself sometimes because we had laid offs at my
sure.
company a couple months ago, and it's a scary world out there right now.
A
But
little bit, yeah. This is the first
yeah,
time I've ever heard of like,
yeah.
programmers, software engineers getting laid off. Like that's kind of in the last 30 years, kind of unheard of in a way.
Yeah,
So
and I feel like the industry is getting a little saturated because everyone knows that it's a 4-year degree that can make a decent salary.
yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah.
No, yeah, we talked to a guy for college admissions. He was helping me
Yeah.
do a little college show.
Mhm.
And he was saying that, yeah, the advice that everyone gave about, going to CS and you'll be set for life. I don't know. It's getting a little. He said, one, it's super hard to get into college
Mhm.
if you put CS. If you put anything computer related, it's just harder to actually get into college. And then even then, it's not necessarily the golden ticket. So you have to kind of think outside the box a little bit, like maybe go more towards UX or maybe go more
Yeah.
towards, like social media kind of stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe pivot a little bit.
It is definitely harder, and you definitely have to like stand out. Like you can't just be like, I studied CS, give me a job, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
getting harder and harder, and it's kind of scary, honestly, because as I get older, my parents told me this as I was graduating. They were like, "Oh, if you choose CS, you're gonna get outlived by the younger people, right?" Because there's always younger people that are graduating. They have like the latest tech or whatever. So
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
have to keep studying all the time.
Yeah, or I'm actually surprised more. I know some of it has moved to India and China, but I'm surprised more of it hasn't moved overseas because
Right? Because they're so cheap over there compared to like
yeah.
our salaries,
You
right?
think? Yeah, and
Yeah.
and super smart, like so.
Yeah, and they're a lot smarter. I know a lot of them are a lot smarter than like the rates they pay here.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, you never know though. It's like kind of they say that the job you probably will get may not have existed 10 years ago, or 10 years from now. So when you get into college, you don't even know, you have no idea what you're going to do, most of the time. So
Yeah.
anyway, so kids out there, hang in there, do what you love. Don't do something just because you think it's going to necessarily lead you to a job, but you have to have a little enjoyment for it. So do something that you enjoy, and I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. You'll find a way. If you're
100%. Yeah.
yeah, if you're hardworking and pretty clever and can solve some problems, you'll be fine. All right. Hey, We survived the hard questions, Chloe. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do it.
Let's see. These aren't. I think I changed it from last time. It might be the same as last time. We'll see. All right. If you had extra $5,000 right now, what would you do with it?
I think as of right now, I would put in my high yield savings account.
Yeah.
Like it is, yeah,
4.6.
4.6%. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. And honestly, you don't know what's going to happen to the stock market right now. So,
It's a little
and I need
iffy.
to close on a house in May. So I need
So
all the money that I
you're
can.
gonna have to get some furniture. You're gonna need some
Yeah, it's going to be
other stuff.
expensive. I'm going to be eating cup ramen every day.
I know it is expensive, but don't worry. I have faith in your hustling. You'll get it done. All right. Do you have a favorite financial company or brand?
I feel like an advertisement for SoFi right now because I just said their high yield savings account. But I love SoFi because, yeah, one, the checking and savings interest rates, but also they have like on one app, they have a brokerage.
Uh,
So you can buy stocks, ETFs, crypto on there, and you can also check your credit score on there, and you can also apply for loans on there or mortgages.
wow.
So it's
Yeah.
all on one app. And the UI is actually pretty good for having everything on there. And yeah,
All
so I'm
right.
a big fan ever since I discovered it.
I don't have any SoFi products. I might have to look into that. And have you ever had any problems? Like have you ever to deal with customer service at all?
Nope, never.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've referred a lot of my friends too, and the referrals come in like instantly too. Like they don't like try to skimp you out on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I had, when I did the cash out refi, I had a chunk of change that I needed to park somewhere. So I did it on an online bank. Honestly forget what the name of the bank was, but it was the highest rate at the time. And yeah, it was no problem. It was just kind of like plop it in, pull it out, close the account. It
Yeah.
wasn't a problem at all. So
Yeah, I like online bakes a lot more these days.
seems like it. Yeah. I think, 10, 15 years ago, it was a little nerve wracking. Like, well, there's no actual ATM, or whatever. But I think we've
Hmm.
come a long way where everything's on the app now, or there's networks of ATMs, so you can get cash if you really have
Yeah.
to. So, all right,
I actually partner my SoFi with Chase. So I have Chase as like my secondary. So if I ever need to go to an ATM or like get like a cashier's check-in person or something, then
you
I
got a
just
brick and
transfer money
mortar.
to Chase and then I go to Chase. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, this is not an ad for SoFi, but if SoFi wants to sponsor this podcast, you're welcome to do that. No, I'm just
That would
kidding.
be very cool.
I don't want to sponsor. No, we are not about that. We are non-sponsored. Don't want ads on here. So anyway, but we have an endorsement from Chloe Choe. All right. Hey, do you have any financial books, channels, blogs, websites that you would recommend?
Um, it's actually a Facebook group, and that might sound kind of dated because a lot of people are on Discord these days, but I have a lot of Discord channels that I'm part of, and they're so like there's a lot of noise. And
Yeah,
I feel like Facebook groups keep it like pretty good and they keep the noise down. But
because we're older.
Chase maybe it is,
Bunch
yeah.
of 50-year-olds on there.
The Chase Ultimate Rewards Facebook group and then the Bigger Pockets Fans Real Estate and Investors group. So they just post a lot. So if you have any Chase credit cards, the Chase Ultimate Rewards group, they post a lot of tips on how you can maximize your points and like all the deals that Chase is having these days. And then the Bigger Pockets one, it just has a lot of like real estate investors and realtors, and
Uh-huh.
they're just posting about their deals, about like what they invested in, how much they made on their flips, and like their short-term rentals and stuff like that. So I just like
Nice.
absorb a lot of knowledge from there, and it's
Yeah,
nice.
you just lurking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just lurking. And also I don't like go on Facebook for any other reason than for groups. So
Yeah, honestly,
yeah.
yeah, you're speaking my language, Chloe, because that's my generation. Well, actually, you're even younger than me, but yeah, I love the groups on Facebook. So, let me shout out Asian Creative Network, Asian Hustle Network is really
Oh, I'm
great,
part of those too.
right? And
Yeah.
let's see, I'm on a couple podcast groups. I'm on a bunch of teacher ones. There's a lot of teachers on Facebook. All of us 40 and 50-year-olds are on Facebook. So yeah, don't sleep on Facebook groups, people. Go. There's really, really cool networks. Thousands of people. Like we just did a talk with Kat Liu of Subtle Asian Baking, and she's got 500,000 people on Facebook. So there's a lot of power in that kind of hive thinking or group knowledge. So yeah, cool.
Definitely.
All right. So actually, I'll put those in the show notes so that you can look those up yourself, everyone out there. Hey, how about, I think you might have published this, or maybe not yet. This might be a scoop. Do you have any goals for 2024?
Goals for 2024. I definitely want to get a new job after I come back from Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think within the software engineering industry, it's like pretty common to job hop every like 2 to 5 years-ish, and I'm at
Uh-huh.
2.5 years with my current job. And even though the market's not as good right now, I still want to try. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, hopefully getting a new job. And YouTube, I've been saying it for a while, but I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it until it actually happens. So,
Are you gonna
uh,
try to do long form or are you gonna do
yeah,
shorts?
long form. So I do
Oh,
shorts on it right now, but I think long form is what I've been trying to do. But with my small space in my apartment and then just like not as
yeah.
aesthetic background, I just keep making up excuses. So I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna keep trying to do it and manifest until it happens.
Video is a lot of work to be honest. Like people have asked me if I would ever move the pod to YouTube, but one, podcasts, we do super long form, like an hour. Like where are we at right now? We're we're almost at an hour. But like long form podcasts on YouTube, not the most engaging. We're just sitting here talking, right?
Mhm.
But if you want it to be good, the amount of effort it takes is hard. So I've kind of shied away from it. Audio is one thing, but video.
Mhm.
So if you do it, props to you. It's a lot of work, but it is definitely more virally than podcasts. Like
Yeah.
no one swipes on podcasts. You're
Yeah.
looking you when you go to a podcast, you know what you're looking for, and you click on it. You don't swipe until you find one. So we don't
Definitely.
really go viral. Like, but YouTube definitely does. So I've interviewed a good amount of YouTubers, and they're making the dream work, man. They're kind of living their dream, doing what they want to do,
Yeah, it's
basically.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
But
like,
once people get big, they outsource their editing. I think that's probably the hardest part, right?
oh yeah, the
Yeah.
editing. Yeah, if you could do, yeah, if you could just be the star and shoot your content and then send it to someone, that would be key. That'd be super
Yeah, but
clutch. Yeah.
editing's also expensive, so you have to find a good
Yeah.
balance.
Actually, that's, honestly, for kids out there, if you wanted to get kind of a job, learning how to edit video, and you could probably make some money on Fiverr or wherever you want, like just people will pay you to do it, and you can do it in your spare time, I think, if you're good at it. So, high
Definitely.
school kids out there, not a bad side hustle, do a little video editing. All right, so I think we did this last time, but if you have a new answer, that's fine. Or if you don't want to answer, that's fine too. But we ask our guests at the end of the interview who their infatuation is. Infatuation is anyone in the Asian community that you admire, whether they are living or deceased, someone that you know, or maybe someone that you don't know. So, Chloe Cho, do you want to name another infatuation?
Yeah, sure. I was thinking about this, but I follow Kathy Duen. You
Uh
might
huh.
know her. She's in Stranger Things from Wong Fu.
Uh huh.
But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's a
The
single mom
Strangers
and
Again.
she's Strangers Again and oh, sorry, Strangers Again. My bad. You're right.
not, yeah, not the one with the monsters. Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, she's super good in
Yeah,
that.
but she's like a single mom raising, I think she's five right now, but a 5 year old.
Oh
And
wow. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's just really impressive to see like everything she's going through, like being a single mom, living with her parents, even when she's like older and
Uh-huh.
raising a kid. And like her content's really like very personable. And I can like, even though I'm not married, not a single mom, and don't have a
Uh-huh.
kid, it's still like really entertaining to watch. And her kid is so, at least the stuff you see on social media, she's so like well mannered, so like well raised, and like you could really show like how much love the mom puts into her. So she's been a lot
Yeah.
of fun to follow.
Nice. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're not the first person to mention someone from the Wong Fu group, like they're for at least a generation really inspiring, just to see someone
Mhm.
that looks like you. Like it took a while. Like now we're starting to see people on TV and movies, but for a longest time there wasn't. And so YouTube was kind of the first place where a lot of people saw someone that looked like them, that had the same kind of jokes, that had the same kind of
Mhm.
friends, and it was super comforting. And I'm older than those guys, but even I found comfort in that. And that Strangers Again was such a groundbreaking thing because it was like a rom com with Asians in it, but there wasn't a whole lot about it that was Asian.
Mhm.
It just happened to be people that look like us. And so, yeah, they could have been our friends, they could have just been people
Yeah.
that we knew. And so I love that about that, where it wasn't like, oh, okay, this is fresh off the boat, or this is Kim's convenient. It's not
Yeah.
about being Asian. It's just about being a human, falling in love, falling out of love. Like it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
and it's well done. The quality was super high. Yeah. So
For around 10 years ago, it's crazy how well it was produced.
yeah, yeah, and these are just kids. They weren't trained in film, or they weren't trained in I don't even know what they majored in, but yeah, these were just basically college grads, or even some kids were in college, just doing it and kind of winging it, but produced really high quality stuff and still doing it. And kudos to them for all that they've achieved. So Wong Fu, we salute you guys. So, and if you want to come on the podcast, you're welcome to come on the podcast. Phil, Kathy,
That
come
would be
on.
so cool.
I know, right? All right, wait, that's about it for episode number 106. I think if that goes the way it's planned. Thank you to my guest, Chloe Choe. Thanks for coming on again, Chloe.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. No, it's just cool
It was a lot
to
of fun.
talk to some. Here's the thing. I should disclose this. Yeah, I have so little hustle in me in terms of finances. Like
You have your podcast. You have
Okay,
your
yeah,
podcast.
so-
There's no way you have no hustle.
Well, okay, so when it's something I'm interested in, like this podcast, yeah, I do hustle for this podcast. But people ask me if I want to monetize it, or if I want to, grow it to this or that or this or that. And I kind of feel like I'm comfortable where I'm at. I just do it for fun. I don't want my listeners to sit through ads if I'm going to be making like $25 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get plus I just like to have control over content, and so I just do what I do. But when it comes to money, I'm honestly that guy that I'm just okay with the W-2. I'm just okay with the
That's
with the
perfectly
paycheck.
fine. I feel like most people are, right?
A lot of people, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's just kind of ironic that I like talking about money, and I like hearing your tips, and I like your hustle, and I like thinking about growing money. But in reality, I'm index funds. I'm 30-year mortgage. I'm nothing fancy, but I do enjoy talking about it. So that's kind of the irony of talking to someone who loves hustling. But anyway, thank you for coming on. This has been fun, and we'll check up on you again. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. And so you can follow Chloe over at Off Hour Hustle, all one word, on what are your main platforms? Instagram, TikTok?
Instagram, TikTok. I do have a YouTube as well.
Yep.
Same handle.
It's like it's a placeholder, right, for the long form that's
Yeah.
coming soon.
Yeah.
But you got a couple shorts on there. On there. So, all right. So go follow Chloe. And as usual, you can follow us on social media at Infatuasian Podcast, and you can write to us an old-fashioned email at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com, and give us a follow, give us a like, give us whatever you can give us. Give us a review or a rating over at Apple or Spotify. And and you know what? If you know someone that might be interested in this topic, send them the link. People are lazy. They don't want to look up stuff. So go ahead and go to the share button, send this link to someone, and hopefully they'll enjoy this show. That's the best way. Like I said, we're not sponsored, so we're not doing heavy advertising. So I need you, listeners out there, to help me spread the word on the podcast. So, hey, until we talk to you again, on behalf of Chloe and myself, we hope that you are all happy, healthy, and safe out there. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.